All right.
Welcome to A Soft Place to Land. We have a special guest in the house. Well, not in the house, but in the house. Um, Mr. Demario Jives. Just
Hello, hello.
silent my phone there. Um, Welcome. We are so glad that you have joined us. I am excited about this little chat that we're going to have.
Thank you for
Um,
having me, Hope.
I'm so excited about this. Just to some housekeeping. First of all, like, share, and subscribe. Listen, this is not a conversation for the faint at heart. If you are squeamish, then this is not the time for you to be in this live because we're going to talk about some things. Um, Mr. Jives, Mr.
Yes.
Demario Jives, King Jives, how would you prefer to be referred to?
Um, you know, Mario, King, whatever.
Just don't call you too late for dinner, huh?
You know what I'm saying? I do like to eat, that's why I'm in the gym.
All right, all right, all right. Well, I'm gonna call you King Jives.
Okay.
So or Jives. So again, we want to thank you for accepting the invitation to join us to have this deep dive conversation.
Hmm.
I want to get some of the preliminaries out of the way.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your journey as a YouTuber. Who are you?
Um, I've been asked this question many times, and I always thought I would.
It's okay.
Honestly, how I started out, honestly, I started out doing this by just wanting to just do something fun on the internet. That's what I did.
Okay.
I did like little skits and things. And then, you know, I just started seeing things with church and I'm just like I just got confused. I was like, I've been in a bubble like for a very long time.
Okay.
And, I was always taught, don't talk about the man or the woman of God. I'm like, and I was perplexed with that situation because I was so confused. I was like, they're not God.
Right.
And this scripture that people love to use, touch not mine, anoint and do my proper. I'm like, that's not talking about y'all. But I mean, anyways,
Right.
um, I got started like that. And then
Okay.
it went from speaking out against the foolishness in the church house and just in our communities to just talking about what was right, what was wrong, and the people don't like it. And so I just that's how I got started.
Yeah, so I found you a few years back, um, some of the controversy in the church house, and you are not squeamish about your opinions. Um, you are very blunt, and I liked that. And it actually intrigued me because, yes, I was taught we don't touch the man of God, and it was just, why? Why if they're doing something controversial, why can't we, because they're going to talk about us from the pulpit. You share something with the preacher, he's going to share it and you're going to say, keep my confidence, and then next Sunday he's preaching on what you've shared.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that about you. I have to be quite honest, there have been times when you've said some stuff and I'm like, oh, Jives, come on, Jives, come
you
on, give him
know,
a break, Jives.
I think if I don't rub you the wrong way to make you think, then I'm not doing my job.
There
I
you
you know
go.
I never want to, and this is me being honest. I never want to um, be that yes person all the time, where like
Right.
everything you agree with. Because I mean, I
Right.
think in life you're not supposed to agree with everything. There should be something that you don't agree with. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I think some people should say something, that makes you think about what you're saying, question, and I just feel that it should be like that.
I think that many times in the church, we are almost trained not to be honest. We'll have these thoughts and these feelings, and we'll talk around the kitchen table about some things, but we're not going to say them in public. And I
Absolutely.
do, I like that about you. Um, so, little shift change. Let's talk about who Jives was before he became King Jives. I mean, you
Mm.
may have always been King Jives in your heart. Let's talk about who you were. Let's talk about who you were as a child. Who was Jives
um,
as a child?
before I became this person, and to be very honest with you, um, and I'm just gonna be very blunt and honest about
Go
this.
ahead. That's what we
Like,
need.
I used to want to be famous. Like, I
All
was in
of
high
us.
school, and I was like, oh my god, I just want to be like, that person. I want to be that it person. Like, I want to be, like the person that, like the it person in school. I want to be that person that, everybody just likes and want to be like, and it actually
And the
happened,
means.
and I'm just
Okay.
like, Lord, why did I ask for this, sweet Jesus? Why, Lord? Why?
Gotcha.
But
What?
before all of this, that I was that way in high school. Like, I just all I knew was church, and I just wanted to be as close to the Lord as possible. I always was every time you saw me, I was at church. I was very much so holier than thou. I was just
Okay.
always, just somewhere just trying to be close to God because that's what all I was taught. I was praying at school the whole time. Every word that come out was something deep and spiritual and holy, and
Okay.
it was just the absolute most. If anybody was super saved, that was me. If you ever
Okay.
thought about somebody that was super deep, super holy, all of that stuff, that was me. I was that person. Like, it was just it was the absolute most. It was doing the
See,
most at all times.
my grandmother used to say it this way: "So saved, you saved all the way down to your drawers."
Yes, I'm talking about. Listen, if you want to know how saved I was, listen, I was anointing my whole body with blessed oil because I did not want to feel nothing. Listen,
Yes,
if my
indeed.
body saw something that was nice and my body react, I would put blessed oil on because I was like, this the devil. Oh, touch my mind, God. Oh, God. See,
All
oh,
right.
Father God, right now, Jesus. Yes, God. Oh, I mean, you ask my cousins them and everything, and they would tell you, "Yep, yep, Mario was super saved." I was super saved. It was like, what? Yep, that was me. Yep, was.
Okay. Okay. What was your relationship like with your family? As a let's go prior to high school. What type of person was Demario
Ah,
as a youngster?
um, honestly, I'm the oldest grandchild, um, and everything was just kind of like you gonna do everything was church, 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 church. Like, I was gonna be the preacher, was gonna be the pastor, was gonna do this and all of this, and the church is all I knew. And you know, eh, even going to school, my family always knew, like, outside of wearing a uniform, because when I graduated high school, we wore uniforms,
Hmm.
and so when we had dress down day, I put a suit on.
Okay.
Like, that sounds crazy, but it's just I had a suit on. and it was the most retarded thing. I think about it now, and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, what was you going through in your mind? Like, what was really going on? So my family knows me as I've always been that person that it's just been Jesus, Jesus, Jesus all
Gotcha.
day, every day praying. I got some grease on my life now. I really do have some grease on me. I really do. I got some grease on
Okay.
me.
So let's dive a little bit deeper.
Mhm,
Another one of the things that I really like about you is you are
mhm,
open about who you are.
mhm.
Um, you are same gender loving
Yes.
and free about it, no
Mhm.
bones about it, like it or lump it, this is who I am.
Correct.
How did your family, when did you know that this is who you were? Two-part question. When did you know that this is who you were? And were there any internal struggles? Because you were so close to the church, you were just head diving into the church. When did you know that this is who you are? And were there any internal struggles when you learned that?
Um, I knew this at a very early age, like super early. Like I was a little kid, I knew this a long time ago. But my only thing was I was like, okay, even as a child, I was like,
I lost you.
can you
I
hear me?
lost. I can hear you. Your camera's gone.
Okay, can you hear me
You're
now?
back.
Okay. Um,
You're
my
delayed.
only,
Okay,
huh?
go ahead. You're back because you were delayed. But go ahead.
Okay. My only thing was it was just I was like, in church you're always taught a certain thing a certain way, and it was just like I was like, God, you made me. Like, do you love me? I battled with that because I'm like, well, God, if you made me, I mean, I didn't ask to be this way or anything like that. I mean, and I was never touched or anything of that nature. I was just like, okay. So I dealt with that for years. And so I did, it was a lot of self hate. It was a lot of like, God, what is this? Why? Like it was a lot of that. And so the older I got, it was a lot of self hate, depression, a lot of depression, a lot of depression. I tried to commit suicide
Wow.
before. I would say twice, but I know once for sure.
Right.
And I just had such a problem. And it's like I could see people in church that I knew was dealing with things, and it was really a tough time for me because it was just really weird. My family, you know, it is holiness, But I think, when it came down to me, everybody was just kind of like, when I finally said it, it was like, we knew. I was like,
So your family accepted it immediately. There was no pushback.
um, there was some pushback, It wasn't now. I think I think because of the age, um, I'm gonna turn my camera off because I'm trying to hook my ears up. So give
Okay.
me I can you still hear me though?
I can hear you.
Okay. So because of the age that I was, okay. Okay, there we go. Because of the age that I was, um, it wasn't like, oh, we're just gonna. Oh no, I was well in my 30s, and it was like,
Oh, okay. It was later in life.
I actually no. I take it back. Um, I came out in my late 20s. My late 20s, yes.
Gotcha.
And so I was very much so already vlogging and doing all this stuff like that. So I'm grown. Please say something crazy. I'm gonna say something crazy back to you. But you know, that's just the way that it
So
was.
as a young adult, um, teenager, loving God, saved, sanctified, running for your life, but you were having these internal struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, did you have a beard? Did you, if you knew that you were same gender loving, but you weren't sure how the family and those around you, your community around you, was going to receive it? Did you have a beard? Did you have a girl that was, you gonna be my girlfriend, right? Wink, wink.
Okay, so
You lost camera again.
okay, let me get back over there. My phone is doing something crazy. Can you hear me though?
I can.
Okay, so I did not have a beard, did
Okay.
not. Um, this is gonna be really funny. So I actually, uh, I actually had a girlfriend, and I actually dated girls several times. We never, we never did anything sexual or nothing like that. But we kissed. What people normally do.
Right,
Um,
right.
so I that was way before I did come out. Um, I was very weird about people knowing about my private life. And then so there was one young lady that I really, really loved, like really loved. Actually, there was two. But this one, I was like, everybody was pushing for this first lady thing, this, jives and who are you going to be with? It was just all of that. And so I was, kind of excited about it. Not really, but I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. And so I wanted to move, I guess, to the next level or next place, whatever. And I asked her, I was like, so
What is we gonna do?
what are we doing? Like what are we, Um and she was just like, oh, we're just having fun. Excuse me? I was like, I'm not dating you just to have fun. I want to know that we're actually progressing to something else.
Right.
Um, and she said, "Oh, we just, in so many words, we just kicking it. It's just, it is what it is." And I was kind of like, "So, what am I, you know?" So when she said that, I was kind of like, "You know what? I'm not, I'm not even gonna waste my time no more." And so I stopped talking to her immediately. I went back to talking to who I was talking to, and I didn't care no more. I just did
Okay.
not care. I was just like, you know what? I'm good. But that particular season in my life, I was just like, I am who I am. It wasn't until I got a little bit older and I really understood that sexuality is not always as concrete as people make it to be.
Right. Right.
You can look at somebody and be attracted to them, whether it's male, male, female, female, or male, female, whatever. You can look at them and be like, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Our society makes it like you got to be this way, and I'm like, it's not always
It's not
black
always
and white
black and
like that.
white. It's not always
Yeah.
black and white. Let's go down another level.
Okay.
So you mentioned that there was a period of time where there was a struggle and there were suicide attempts as a result of the struggle. Let's go there. delve there for a
Okay.
moment. Let's talk about those struggles.
Okay. So I was younger. I was in fifth grade. So in fifth grade, you know, I was a little boy. Um, they said I looked like a little girl because I looked like my mama a lot. So, that was something that I was picked on about, and it was just kind of weird. Like so, didn't really know how to take that, express it, or whatever. So I was like, well, maybe God made a mistake or something. And it was really bad, and I tried it. I was just like, okay, let me just kind of take myself out of here because I'm like, maybe God made a mistake with me. I don't know. Like, I don't get it. So that was a really tough time for me. My mom, she worked a lot. So, it was not something that I really could like talk to anybody about, especially
Right,
back then. Ain't
right,
nobody have no conversation with their kids about all that stuff. Like, that ain't nobody
right,
about the
right,
devil. Women with
right,
that oil so I can slap some grease on you
right.
and
You need
rebuke
to go pray. You need to go
well,
pray.
so we can rebuke the devil out you. It wasn't nothing that you talked to your kids about. It was like, whatever. Come on, let's go on down here to this altar. So he'd be like, what? So, yeah.
So I have a very close family member who um, is same gender loving and dealt with depression. And this family member became a cutter.
Mm,
Um, it was challenging to help this person because I just didn't know how.
hmm
Um, I knew, we knew from an early age that this family member was same gender loving. I saw it. You talked about being young, fifth grade,
hmm
and the attempt at that age. May I ask what you did?
I took pills.
Okay.
hmm I took pills because that's I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what
So
else to do. I was just
what happened? Did someone find you? Did you have to go?
I went to sleep.
You just
Like
went to sleep.
I passed out and I woke up. That's what happened. Like the pills that kicked in, and then I passed out, and then I got up, and I was like, I think I was hallucinating for a minute, and then I passed back out again because I saw like little things bouncing around the house, and then I saw little animals, and then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up again.
And just move past it. So how did you move past that period of darkness?
Oh, I was still there. I was
Okay.
just like, I was like, I don't get this. Like, and it was this big thing where let me close this door. It was this big thing where, just everybody was just so gung ho in this whole preaching thing about, hellfire and brimstone and you going to hell with this and
Right.
you going to hell with that. And I was just like, and hope the thing is what people fail to realize is everybody that you think that don't know God actually know God, and they actually can either they have a level of spirituality about them to where they can see your stuff.
Right.
And I
Right.
and I and I could see things and my spirit, man, I'd just be looking like
Like really, dude?
and some stuff I couldn't say because I was a child at the time. And I was just like, okay. And spiritually, it just really bothered me because I could see what they didn't want nobody else to see.
Right. Right.
And I'm so confused because I'm looking like, I feel this, right? And I'm like, okay, just Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm going crazy. But it just that and I battle with myself internally, spiritually, because I was like, God, why? Why do I feel like this? And I'm like, everybody around me preaching this stuff. But when I got older, now, when I got older, I got to know the Lord for myself. Like
Okay.
I did the whole church thing and you know, just the regular excited because the music is hot and just feeling just whoo, all of that.
Right.
But I honestly I had an encounter for myself. And ever since then it's just been like, you can't tell me that I don't
There
know
you go.
God.
Right.
You can
So how were
you
you? How were you? Were there was? Let me ask it this way: was there a period of time where the church didn't accept you?
I wouldn't say that they did not ever accept me. It was just very much so a select group of people that had a problem with my outness, you know what I'm saying? Um and I love those type of people because I'll be like, now, if you really want to do that, we can do that. But I mean, people use generally just they wasn't tripping so bad. It was just the fact that uh, someone who I called my brother, he told me, he said, Mario, people never had an issue with you. It was just that what you said, what your truth was, and what you said in the open is what they had a problem with. They rather for you to have been quiet.
Been quiet about it. Been quiet about it.
Yeah.
And that is so sad. There are so many people who have succeeded in their attempts
Hmm.
because it is a unspoken rule, unspoken loudness in the household of faith. Yet we know we know about little Johnny,
Hmm.
but put him in a suit, put him on the altar. We're gonna pray. We're just not gonna look at it.
Hmm.
Um, and it's not fair. It is not fair. If we serve a God who makes no mistake, why is it that we cause people to feel as if they're a mistake?
Um, uh, well, a lot of people do that because they feel like a lot of times they're dealing with something themselves. So they speak out on something or say certain things
Absolutely.
be, because it's in a sense, it's a cover up for themselves. Um, and I know a lot of people who have done that, but I feel like this right here, the more we move forward the way that we're moving forward now, I think a lot of these conversations will dwindle away because it's like everything is very much so coming to the open. Um, I think people are understanding that sexuality is not as black and white as we have played it out to be. And it's been this way for years. Now I'm not talking about, people that's out here messing with children. I'm talking about
Right.
grown,
Right.
consensual adults. It's been like this for years. Even in biblical times, people have
Absolutely.
you have had kings who have had transgender men, transgender women as wives, and no one knew the wiser because they had midwives and all of this stuff, and they looked so fair that they passed. People don't know about that until they read history, but this has been going on for a long time. And then as far as sexuality is concerned, and the more I read and when I studied, the thing that I do believe that God even had a problem with was that people were just very much so undisciplined. Like y'all
Right,
doing everything that y'all think y'all big enough and bad to do. Y'all having
right,
sex with animals and children, and y'all having all type of orgy parties and y'all don't know how to be disciplined. And I think with the undisciplined and the uncheckedness of it all, then you have diseases and pestilence and things that come across the land because it's like we've gotten frivolous with the things that we do.
right. Well, and I absolutely, I 100% agree. I think that especially when it comes to sexuality and spirituality, when the church gets to the place where they accept the fact that truly God has created us all and we are all magnificently made, and there, I just don't know how to say this. We want our young people to stop struggling. And I think that when the old folks stop judging, then more of the young folk will come back into the church house.
Uh-huh.
They'll come back into the church house. Um, Young people just aren't going because they're tired of the stiff neck, old fashioned, you know, Reverend so and so. You got a wife, 6 girlfriends, and a boyfriend, but you want to judge me.
When it comes down to that particular issue, we're in America and we teach out of a Bible that is okay with polygamy.
Absolutely.
So, now that I'm into sharing, because I'm not.
Me either. I
But
don't share my toys. Very selfish with my toys.
so, when it comes down to it, it's like a lot of things people just don't talk about, but the preacher gets up, he preaches on homosexuality, he preaches on, you know, lying and all this other stuff like that. But then you come to find out, give it time, he's indulging in the very same thing that he's preaching against.
100%.
Uh, when I think about, and this is just me, my lane, when I think about Jesus, Jesus preached in so many words, prepare ye the way of the Lord,
Right.
how to love your neighbor as yourself, and how to just love the world and love thy brother, all those things like that. I don't hear nobody preaching like that. It's about, God's gonna do it in the next 3 days, stuff like that. Um, I just think that sometimes for some people we preach our struggles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, you are. I've watched you, like I said, for some time, and I know that you are a creative being.
Mm-hmm.
Super super creative being. Your videos are top notch. Um, I absolutely love it. Listen, I love to see you drag. It just tickles my little funny bone. Um, where did you find your creativity? I know that there are special items that you create, and there's a reason that I'm not going to mention those special items. I'm going to leave that to you to advertise. But do the arbitals. Um, Coming from Tanya TKO, give her credit for the arbitals. Read between the lines. When did you find your creativity, and why such
Right now.
magnificent pieces?
Wait, what did Tanya say?
Oh, no, no, no. Tanya talks about arbitals. Read between the lines. That's all.
Oh,
She
because
calls them arbitals. No,
me and her had an issue at one
I
point.
yes, I know. We're not going there. We're gonna keep this in love and light. We're gonna keep this in love and light. when did you find your creativity? Because the pieces of art that you create are absolutely magnificent.
Well, for me, and this is my truth, I've always been a creative child. Even as young elementary, I was always drawing, always creating. My mind is always going 1,000 million miles an hour on just doing something. I've always loved animals. I love nature. Hence, I got 6, 7 different fish tanks in my house, and dogs and birds. Anything that I wanted to do, if I didn't want to spend the money on it, I made it. Like
Okay.
it was okay. I wanted an aviary in my house. I wanted an aviary full of birds. I built an aviary.
I
Like
remember that.
I went to Home Depot, pulled my own measurements together, built that mug. At first, it was in my house. Then the birds started making too much noise, had seeds and things everywhere. Put them mugs outside. I was like, no, 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 gotta go. And then that came and that went. I still got 2 birds back there on the back porch now. Then I got back into fish. I've always been I don't know, I'm a fire sign, but I love water. Um, and I just, then I got into crowns, and that's because I did my show. My name means, part of it means sailor, some of it, but the big majority of it means king, um, and leader. And so when I did my show, I was like, you know what? I want to do something. So I was like, you know what? I want a crown. And so I went to this particular store, got a crown, and I said, when I put it on, I was like, oh no, I just can't have no any ordinary crown. Like
Right.
I gotta do something.
Right.
So my first crown that I ever created is still in there. It's actually falling apart because I used the glue gun, but I think I'm gonna recreate that one. And that's actually in all of my marketing pictures. And it gives you the idea of coming to America. But I had did that, and somebody asked me about selling them, and I just started selling them. And you
So
know,
how long have you been doing the crowns?
my sister Nay is in the comments. She probably can tell you better than I can. I've been doing the crowns since about 2018, 19, something like that. I think about 2018, 19, something like that. Yeah.
Really? Really? I would have thought it's been longer than that. I mean, they
I've
are
made
literally works of art.
I've made them for myself. I actually, what time is it? No, I probably missed it by now. I was getting ready today. My sister said, yeah, it's been about 2018, 19. I've been, I have a crown I got to take to the airport. I think I might do that tonight. I might, wait a minute. I don't know. I might have missed the airport, the post office at the airport too. Anyways, I just basically, a client calls me, and I don't give away you know, a client calls me and they say, Jives, I want this. And I'm like, okay, what color scheme you want? They say, I want, give me the Puerto Rican colors. Okay, I'll give you the red, white, and blue. And I put that thing together for you. I may even try to incorporate the flag in there. And I just give the client what they're asking for. And then voila.
Okay. I mean, they are absolutely fabulous.
I
I
don't have one
love.
in here. I don't have one in here. It's actually in my living room.
Well, you need
But
to go get it because the peoples need to see it.
I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna
Go
go get this
ahead.
one
You can
from
keep
this.
talking. You can keep
Uh,
talking.
I have one for this client. I gotta go send it off. Oh Lord. Let me see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Praise the
I
Lord.
love that artwork there.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna actually bring my first crown, and then I'm gonna bring my birthday crown. Okay, I'm gonna bring this client's crown too, so you can see it. Oh Lord, I done come a long way, sweet Jesus. Oh Lord. Whew. All right, so I'm gonna show you now. Honestly, this was this is my first crown that I ever did. My first one.
Okay.
This is my first crown I ever did. Now I am going to redo this because I just love this crown. I don't know if I really want to strip it, but to do what I'm about to do, I'm gonna have to take some of the major stuff off here and redo this one.
Right.
Because the red one was actually a redo. Um, this is my birthday crown here.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, this is my birthday crown. See the insides and everything like that.
Yeah.
It's that one's not done, but but this is a client's right here.
That is phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal.
And people
Yes,
are always
you've come a long way. You've come a long way, baby.
well, I have to listen. When you look at where's the front? When you look at this and then you look at this, you're like,
Yes.
oh,
Yes. Yes.
so I actually I take my time doing these things because for what people spend on these things, you just want to make sure it's right.
Right.
Um, and so for what I charge it's really not enough. You know, I asked everybody, I'm like, y'all, what should I be charging? Because I'm like, this stuff takes forever. Like, you got to seriously, and that's why when people used to drag me, maybe, well, I think it was like 4 years ago, they was on there clowning and, oh, you're not this, you're not, I mean, just acting a plum fool. And they was like, oh, you and them Burger King crowns. How there ain't nothing
There is
about,
nothing Burger King about that at all. At
I
all.
mean,
I love it.
without without giving too much of your tea away, like for yourself, ain't nothing Burger King
Nothing Burger
about
King. You're talking too much,
nothing.
Jives. You're talking too much. You're
Okay,
talking too much. You're talking
I'm
too
be
much,
quiet. I'm be
Jives.
quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet.
Um,
But
it has been so awesome talking with you. I want to thank you for sharing your story. A lot of times, especially church folk, they don't want to tell the truth.
mhm,
And what I really, really love about you is you stand in your truth.
mhm.
And I enjoy that. Um, I wish you could have come here and ate some of those crawfish I sent you the picture of. Listen, I'm
listen,
only a plane ride away. 2 hours, 2 hours in the ear.
listen, listen. Did you have some corn and potatoes and
Corn
things?
and potatoes, all of that.
Oh,
All of
yeah.
that.
My
I
sister don't live too far from there because she down there in Louisiana too. But listen, I
so,
love me a little crab, crawfish, shrimp boil.
yes, yes. So I may have to make my way to Tampa and bring you a little something, something. May have
Listen,
to bring you a little something, something.
Now we got this spot here called Mr. and Mrs. Crab. And when I tell
I
you,
lived in Florida for 5 years. And I've been to Mr. and Mrs. Crab. I lived in Pinellas Park.
oh yeah, you're in St. Pete area, yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Pinellas Park. So, Jives, where can the people find you?
Listen, thanks to God, thanks and friends. Listen to me. Listen. Y'all can find me on the YouTubes. I have 4 channels, 4 or 5 channels, one of them. But my main channel is Official King Jives. Go over there and subscribe. And if you are over here from my page, please make sure y'all subscribe to A Soft Place to Land. This is a new friend of mine, and I love our conversations that we have. A lot. What's crazy and what's funny about when we talk, a lot of us generally have the same conversation,
Yes.
just a different person. You know,
Yeah.
we all come from different walks of life, but we generally speak the same language.
Yes. 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 Jives, I want to thank you for taking the time. I want you to go on and get to that post office now. Get that pretty crown in the mail. Get it in the mail. Because I know they're chomping at the bit to get it. Again, thank you so much for being here with us. I want you to come back. We're going to be doing some more things. I am planning, brainstorming, some panel shows. Please give me any suggestions on how I can improve, how I can grow my channel. Thank you for helping me to learn how to schedule it today.
I'm telling, because I was like, girl, what a link is.
Where the link, like some folks say, where the link.
All right.
So thank you so much for helping me schedule. You have a great rest of your evening. Everyone, thank you so much for being in the chat. I want to call out some folks. Kamisha Reviews, my mentor, she been whipping me a little bit. Well, do you like this? Do you like that? What you like? Girl, what you want? What you gonna do? Hey, Nay, how you doing? Hey, my mom is in the chat, Marie Wood. So again, thank you so much for your time. You have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye for now, everyone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye for now.